Hi, this is Susie J. Cobwebs, and today I have a special guest for you. Her name is Lennyr. She has actually been on the show a few times, and we are going to talk about relationships. These relationships could be as simple as friends, family, or even romantic relationships, the special bonds that you have with a lot of people. Hi, Anne. How are you doing today?
I am fine, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Good. So, with this, we are going to talk about different types of relationships. Now, I covered them quickly, like the romantic, the family, the friends, and I totally forgot that. I'm sorry. The family, friends, romantic, even regular,
Even with your children.
everyday
Even
relationships that you're going to have with coworkers.
Yes.
Do you have any type of tips that, just on a normal, we're going to get into it more, but any type of regular tips that you would have just in general?
So I approach relationships very different than majority of people, and I approach it by energies.
Okay.
And the easiest way to understand that is that we have four energies we're playing with all the time. We have air, we have fire, and we have earth. Okay? These four energies, they can be identified in any kind of person. For example, let's take men, for example, right? Airman is going to be an entrepreneur. Is going to be a man who wants to build something, but doesn't want to hold on to that business for the rest of his life. Sometimes he might even think about selling it, right? The airmen are making decisions very quickly. They don't think three times because they're going to find out if they made a mistake in the next 60 seconds. Okay, so these are the airmen, for example. The watermen are Michelangelo, creators, okay, artists, musicians, okay. They have water energy inside them. They're not like the airmen going and running. They're calmer. They're softer men. They're very sensitive men. Okay. So, they're very different. A fireman, for example, will be a manager. Anybody that's managing somebody else's money, probably the airman money. Okay. The fireman does not interested in his own business, is not interested in how should I say, in the building a business, right? He's in managing somebody else's money. And for the fireman, you will be surprised. Number one in life is not money, but is his wife.
Oh.
Which does not occur at any of these. Here at the water, it's the creation, okay? And at the air is the business.
Right.
All right, so then we have the earthmen. The earthmen are, you can see them a lot in the military, in the government. They are men that work from 9 to 5, that they are stable, that they have huge problem to make changes in their life. They're like earth, stable, grounded, right? For them, being respected is number one thing. For them, being a king in his kingdom is the number one thing. Okay? Not the business, not your creation, and not the woman. Okay? So if you look at these, all the men you know in your lifetime, you will be able to find men with just one energy. Sometimes they might have two energies. Or sometimes they have three, but they're missing one. And that's the little trick. Exactly what they're missing, they're gonna try to find in relationships.
Which makes sense.
House, because they need all of these four to be balanced. So now let's talk about women. Okay.
Okay.
The water women are delicate princesses. They can't drive. They don't know how to do technology. They're delicate. They're sensitive. Okay. They look that they need somebody to help them achieve things.
Mhm.
And who they need? They're gonna need an earthman, because that's the king. That's going to help them achieve things, right?
Right.
The air women are the CEOs that you see, the women CEOs that you see. Those have male energy inside them, right? And if you look at them, you're not even attracted at them as women, because they're like men and they run the business exactly like the airmen, but they're women, right? With a lot of,
Right.
they're like queens in their field. Nobody's daring to approach them. Nobody's daring to offend them, okay? Because they have a lot of masculine energy inside them. This is how they are. The fire women, you see them all the time. They are actresses, sexy,
Oh.
high heels, mini skirts, makeup, pretty. Look at me. Those are the fire women all the time, but you see them all the time. And the earth women are the mothers. They don't care what they dress with. They don't care what kind of shoes they have, okay? They're there to take care of their family and their kingdom, okay? And they are women of family. They only care about cooking, decorating their house, right? So you see how men and women in any kind of situation, for example, let's say it's in a family situation, or it's in a relationship, or it's in friends, or it's co-workers, all of these people are looking for all the four energies. So you will always be attracted to somebody that you're missing one of these energies, okay?
Right.
Let's say you have 2 or 3 of them, for example, but you don't have one, okay? So for me, for example, I am an air woman. Okay? I have some earth in me. I have some fire in me. I'm missing this.
Right.
Guess who I attract in my life? Men like this. That for me, they're very different. They're very unimaginable. How can a man be sensitive when I am not sensitive?
Right.
Okay.
So you're just looking to what
But
you are lacking.
But exactly, but you don't do this consciously. You do
Right.
this unconsciously.
Right.
And like me, they wake up that they are queens and air women, and they find these men who all they care about is about their creation, right? Like Michelangelo,
Right.
all he cared about is about his sculptures and his paintings, right?
Mhm.
And then you look at them, is like, wow, what is wrong with you? You're a queen in your kingdom. Why don't you find a king? Because the king here, the earthman, is not attracted to me.
Right.
He's attracted to a princess, to somebody very delicate that needs their help.
Right.
Okay? So this is how it works in every relationship. For example, because I'm an air woman, for me to do everything really fast, making decisions really fast, running everybody over, being in a hurry, doing everything,
Mhm.
normal. My son is an earthman. You can't rush him. It drives me crazy. But the truth is that this is the energy. It's inside him. It doesn't matter what you do to him. You cannot rush him. You cannot make him make fast decisions. If
Right.
you hand all these energies in men or women, you will never have problems in relationships, in any kind of relationship, because everybody is different.
Right.
And you just accept it the way they are. Just because they don't have your energy and they're not exactly like you, it would be very boring if everybody would be air tornado women in the world, right? Or air,
We don't need those.
right? It would be extremely boring. But like this, you understand that here the decision is made immediately. Here the decision is made hard. These people need a long time to make a decision. And this one, only cares about his woman first, or only cares about being pretty as a woman, okay? Doesn't care about money, doesn't care about other things, cares about being visible and having, for example, his wife number one in his life. So as you understand these things, you look at every relationship you have, and it's very, very different. This is why you find very strong men married with very, what you call, weak women. They're not weak women. They're sensitive, they're delicate, and they need that balance, right? Or you find very strong women married with weak men. They're not weak men. They're just sensitive, different, right? They have creativity and artist skills, right? But as they are married with them, they look like the mother and the child instead of, or the father and the child instead of, the man and the woman, right? So, but this is how we attract unconsciously, because we need all four. If we balance all four of them, we will never be in search of somebody else. We will never be, needing friends and relationships and stuff like that. And that would be great, but this is not how we wired as human beings, because everything is relationship. We're people on earth. We're not living on abandoned islands. Okay. So we need to understand these four energies, and they're quite simple to understand. Just imagine how water is, how fire is, how earth is, and how air is.
Mm-hmm.
For women and men, it's different. If we understand all of these four, there are no more problems in relationships, because you understand that everybody is different.
Right.
Okay. And they can be together. For example, firemen can be the same type with, can be two energies, can be this together, for example. Or very unusual to see this together in a man. Very weird to see this. I have seen it, and it looks like very, very weird, right? But princesses, usually the actresses are like princesses, shy, and they're also in the same time fire. At the same time, they're sexy. In the same time, they take care of themselves, right? Mm-hmm. Very attractive to a king, to an earthman. Okay. Look at our president, Donald Trump. Very attracted to princess sexy.
Right.
His wife. And it's been like this for the other two wives too, right? So if you look at relationship in this point, you will see we always unconsciously try to find a balance. We try to master all of these four elements, okay, in our relationships. And it's fine, because not everybody is like us. So this is how I look at relationships, a little bit different than most people.
No, but I really understand that, though, because even if you have somebody, even if you have a man that is water and fire, and then you have a female that is air and earth, that's almost kind of like your match made in heaven almost, right?
Yeah, theoretically, but practically, you see, if we don't understand that, an earthman will never make decision as quicker as an air woman, right? What are we trying to do? Rush the men to make the decision.
Right.
And imagine what toll does this has on the poor man in the relationship, because the man is going to consider you rushing me, so you don't respect me. Because for an earthman, this is number one thing, right? The respect.
Mm-hmm.
So, or, it's like you're trying to be his mother to try to help him out, but you don't respect his creation. Okay, Michelangelo had somebody that took care of him to feed him, because he was forgetting how even to eat, because he was so driven in his creation.
He's driven in his artistic creation.
That woman was an earth woman, was a mother.
Right.
Okay? That didn't care. But she loved him and didn't care that he didn't give her any attention, probably, because he was so driven into his creation, right? But you see, she understood all of that. But if, a woman says, you don't give me attention, but this is a waterman, he won't. This is how he's wired. This is how what he lives for. We have to respect everybody's energy as a purpose in life. Imagine if we wouldn't have any creation. Imagine if we only would have air and fire. Everything will be on fire. What is with air and fire?
Right.
The fires in California, everything would be on fire. Would be fighting nonstop. It would be nothing like the water to calm us down. It will be nothing like the earth to stabilize us, to make us grounded and hold on a second. Let's think it twice. So these energies are important to understand, that we can't just, we have 2 or 3 of these usually, looking for the 4th or looking for the 2 we're missing, but we can't rush the people we know into it. If we understand them, if we just understand them, this is like the mastering of all relationships. We can accept people how they are. I will never be able to rush my child. So 1 hour before we have to go somewhere, I have to let him know that we gotta go. And half an hour, I have to let him go that we gotta go. In 10 minutes, I have to let him go. And I have to plan another hour because we're going to be late an hour no matter what I plan. But it's okay.
That'd be like me.
But this is okay because this is how he is.
Right.
Okay? I would be back and forth in 2 hours from where I need to go. Okay? But understanding that it's not going to help anybody to just rush them. It's not going to help anybody to, I wanted to do it my way. It's very disrespectful to ask this, for example, from a man. That's an earthman. That's a king. It's very, very disrespectful. That's why he likes a princess where she's not going to even know what she wants to eat, not to tell him what to eat.
Even with those princesses, they'll just go by what the guy says. And okay, if this is what we're going to do, we're going to do it.
Their energy. This is their water energy. They're totally fine with it. They're not like, how should I say, stressed out because of it. They're actually feeling very comfortable. They're being protected. So every energy has its own place in the world.
Yes.
And this is why we're all made different. But it's quite easy to imagine that we're made of 4 and we have 2 or 3 of these, but we'll always work to get the 4th one, the missing one. And that's totally fine. That's totally fine. For example, I have to drink a lot of water. Because I don't have water, right, in my and I have to make sure that when I find water, man, I have to make sure that I'm not going to turn their mommy.
Yeah.
To protect them like their mommy, because it's my first instinct.
Right.
Okay? And I have to make sure that I accept the fact that I'm not so important for them because their creation is. Okay? So knowing all of this in any kind of relationship you approach, it will help you balance. It will help you balance first, not only the relationship.
I think so.
Yeah.
I really do think so. I mean, even with like my relationship now, the stuff that I am very strong in, I'm not saying he lacks, but in vice versa,
yes,
the stuff that I am weak in,
yes,
he's very strong in. So we kind of really work together to make sure that we complement each other. Correct. Yeah. Like so then that's a balance.
All the time.
Yes.
But understanding these energies will help because we're always going to look unconsciously for balance.
Right. That's wonderful.
Yeah. So this is how I approach relationship at all levels. And yes, sometimes I tell women that are water energy and they're supposed to be princesses, but they quack a lot at their husbands. Yes, I tell them sometimes to shut up.
You know what, though?
It's not their energy. It's not their type of energy. And when they do that, the men feel offended. And as soon as they step into their energy, everything in that relationship changes.
Right.
Because the man comes to protect them, because this is what he always wanted, to protect them, right?
Well, this just brings me to another section of this. You always were raised, I mean, I think everybody was raised this way, of that golden rule: treat others as the way you want to be treated, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So why can't you just have that type of relationship that, you know what, I'm not going to be mean to you, I'm not going to name call, I'm not going to belittle you in any way, shape, or form, but I want that same respect, and keep that relationship like that? I mean, I know that's easier said than done, but
Because
that's something that is something that will keep a relationship together.
but you see, we have so much garbage from our world. Okay?
Right.
So let's say that I am an air woman, right? And I know my air stuff, but I don't understand the other energies. What am I going to do? I'm going to
Mhm.
tell my girlfriend, who is a different element in a different relationship, that she
Mhm.
needs to tell her husband to make decision in 30 seconds. She's going to take that to her husband, try to rush the poor man, and it's going to explode.
Right.
Now, by not understanding these energies, which I am not the same as my girlfriend.
Right.
She's in a
Right.
relationship. For example, my girlfriend is actually the same, but she's in a relationship with a fireman that puts her first. Okay? When I attract this energy that I don't have, the water ones, right? Her relationship is very different. She's an air woman, but the man puts her first. Okay? Here, the man doesn't put me first, puts his creation first. Okay? And I have to accept that. I have to understand that my relationship, even if I am the same as her, it's not the same as hers. Okay? So what we do from society, we come and give advice. From mommy, daddy, you have to behave like this in your relationships. And
Right.
by not understanding and respecting all of these, it comes up to be disastrous. Well, she said this, well, he said that, well, but has nothing to do with the energetic link and the balance of the actual relationship you're in. So we import all this garbage and we don't know how to separate it. By
Right.
understanding this, now we can say, you're like this, I'm like that. Okay, so I have to respect you the same way you respect me. I'm not going to do the same thing as my girlfriend does. Does that make sense?
Yes. But you, as a couple, this is where you're supposed to have. I don't care what my girlfriend did over here. This is me and you, not you and me, but I'm just saying me and my boyfriend, or me and my husband, or me in a relationship over here talking. This is what we've compromised. So don't compare me
But at our age is easy
to her.
But for young women or young men, they come with all these things from their parents or their friends. Okay, we are older and we know to separate these issues
Right.
from society, but the young people don't have a clue. They have nobody taught them. Is like, listen, you don't have to listen to anybody, you have to listen to your own heart,
Right.
to
Right.
what you really want. Do you really want this person or not? And if you don't want this person, you don't have to stay in a 20-year relationship, miserable. But what if the
Right.
society says, no, you're married now, you got to stay until death, you have children? Okay? And that goes against your heart and what do you really want and how do you want to grow? All this garbage is very hard to distinguish, specifically for young people.
Right. And not only do you have the love, you also have to have trust.
Exactly. But you see,
Trust
if
is
you
right
don't
up there with love.
yeah, and you don't give respect from one to another, to however they are,
Mhm.
the trust is gone. There is
Right. Absolutely.
nobody's trusting anybody because
Right.
respecting anybody.
Yeah.
So it's not easy, but as I'm trying to teach more about these four energies,
Mhm.
ending that they are different, and that's okay. And yes, I do not like to attract watermen. I would like to attract kings because I'm a queen. Okay? But if I want to do that, I have to turn into a princess.
But then that goes against what
It's
you are.
possible to major all four. It's possible to switch between them. It's possible with a lot of work, even if I water. Okay, it's possible. So everything is possible. There are coaches like me that teach this stuff, right? Because this is what I teach. A lot of women are at this level as queens, but they were not born with air energy. And what happens is they get exhausted at some point by running, right? All this society, you got to take care of the kids, the family, work,
Right.
money, everything. But they don't have this energy inside them. So what they do is they're exhausted, right? And then I tell them, well, you're water trying to be an air, drop it. Okay? Or I'll show you how to become an air without being exhausted. And it's actually quite easy as you're learning how to set boundaries of what you want to do and what you don't want to do. So if you know what you have, what you're lacking, what your weakness is, what your strength is, you can actually end up balancing all four and find men that have all four balanced, not one like this, one like that. Okay? And they're always cling to you. It's like, you're the only love and I'm gonna die if you're not with me. Those are not normal men. Okay.
Okay, so I have a question for you. So do you have let's just say a guy? Could they be all four? Then at that point, then they're not really looking for a significant other.
No, but they would be attracted to somebody that has all four.
So then you would try to go to find someone all four.
That will attract balance. It's very similar. You know, if you have three, you're going to look for the fourth. You're always going to look for the balance. You have two, you're going to look for the two. But if you have four, that makes you extremely happy because you know how to balance all four and you're not lacking anything. And then who are you going to meet? A woman that has all four, super happy. Happy attracts happy. Problem solved. So this is the ultimate goal.
It is.
With four energy mastering and find somebody exactly the same as you.
Now here is the $1 million question. $1 million.
I'm ready.
So you have someone that maybe has all four or whatever, and they're going to go out and try to attract another person that has all four. Now, I know in my area, we are stuck in a pandemic, and I'm sure in your area too. So where are you supposed to meet these people? I mean, I guess social media is where you need to be, but okay, so I just Google, hey, I'm going to meet somebody that has, the four things that I'm looking for. You just can't do that. I mean, I understand that there is a lot of social dating and stuff that go on.
Yes.
But these people are going to be even fewer and far between than the ones that you were maybe, I'm going to say this but like lacking in one or two or three.
Yes. So you can recognize after the jobs that I gave you, for example, right after I tell you, the jobs everybody has, you can easily recognize the energies, right? You can also recognize after the astrological sign, okay? And you can see if they have two or three or after the ascendant. But the truth is that until you don't meet that person face to face, you don't feel energetically attracted or not. This is why online dating or long-term dating or long-distance dating or whatever you want to call it, okay, does not work. Okay. And there is a little secret why it doesn't work. Because energetically, let's say you're mastering these, you know all of this. The actual number one thing that attracts one person to another is the smell. The smell doesn't have to be too similar, because that's why we're not attracted to our brother or to our father or
Right.
to our mother, okay? But it doesn't have to be too different, because if it's too different, it's gonna say like, I don't like him. He's perfect, but I don't like him. The smell's gotta be just right, and this cannot be done. I can't smell you over the internet.
But I do got vanilla on though.
Yeah, wonderful. I believe you, okay? But this is why misconception of people is, is like, well, I met him, he's wonderful, he's perfect. And when he comes in person, he's like, who is this guy?
Right.
You're making a picture in your head after energies or whatever, dreams you have or stuff like that. But the truth is that until you don't see this person, until you don't smell him or her, you don't even know if you have, a chance of balancing everything out. This is the first, I tell people when you go on dates, be blank. Just go on the date. See if you like him. You like him, I'll tell you everything you need to know. You don't, just be blank. Don't get predispositions in your head. Mm-hmm. It's got to be like this, and it's got to be like that, and it's got to be, because we can work with all these four energies, and we can even work only with a woman or with a man, not with both of them. There is no need for that. We can work with anything and make it perfect balance. We can make it work, okay? But first you need to like the person. Do you like how he smells or she smells? That's all I need to know.
Okay, so what you're saying,
and if
so what you're saying is
crush of love at the beginning. And
okay,
that's it. This is it. We can work with all of these, but the smell is number one. We're all animals. We're all animals.
Right. So you're saying that physical attraction,
yes,
is first and foremost the
most important
the main priority you're trying to look for.
Yes.
So it's not like every day you're going to walk down the street. Oh, I think I'm going to smell you. Oh, wait a minute. Hello.
No, but you can see from somebody's eyes that they like you, right? As you approach, you get more attracted or not. This is why internet dating doesn't work. Or people that are saying, you're like, oh, you're a serial dater. I'm like, of course I am. Until I'm going to find the right person to like. Of course I'm a serial dater, because I'm not going to just put my mind on a guy and I can't even stand how he smells. How is going to move on from that point, right?
Right.
So this is the first step. Meet the person. Go blank with no ideas, no predisposition, no expectations, no nothing. Just meet the person. See if you're attracted. See what you like, what you don't like. And then we talk about all of this. This is very useful for balancing relationship or seeing why you were not able to balance relationships in the past. Okay?
As long as you are physically attracted to them.
Exactly. But that's
you can fix anything else.
Exactly. If you want to work on it, you can actually fix everything else. But you're not going to fix the attraction.
Right. Right.
Okay, we can have all this garbage in our heads and all these ideas, and it's got to be like this and like that. But if you don't feel that connection, that moment when you meet somebody, because you either have your heart closed and you've been in a lot of pain, or because you just don't like how he smells, or whatever, didn't like the fact that he opened the door for you, which are, expectations, right? Mm-hmm. If you don't have that number one first connection, forget about it. It's a waste of time. So that's why I tell people, don't start relationships online, because it doesn't work like that. You need to look into that person's eyes. You need to see if you can, how do you feel when you touch their hand? How do they smell? That first thing that I like him or her, this is it. Then we can talk about all of this. Then we can talk about how to behave with a man, like a woman like that, right? How they are different than you, how you attracted them and everything. But first, have some kind of connection, not the online texting.
No.
I know.
I'm still old school, so
I know.
unfortunately, they didn't have computers, whenever I started dating. And so you just kept it that way because
And
I want to see them in person. I want to know them before I even throw my heart out at them.
and a lot of people are, knowing themselves by internet, and when they meet, it works out. Okay.
But then you also have a lot of catfishes too.
Okay, well, of course, everything with their own. It's, where there is a lock, there is a thief for it.
Right?
That invented some kind of lock, there is a thief for it. I remember a few years ago, I sent to a friend of mine in my country a lock that cannot be broken. Well, they broke the door. And they still got in. Okay, they actually, tear up the entire door, and they still got in. So where there is a lock, there is also a thief. Okay, everything. We're hijacking identities online because we are all online. So it's always good and bad. Okay,
Right.
So it's fine if you start meeting online. You just don't get your hopes up for 6 months until you meet that person. Go and meet that person and start from there. Blank.
And even at that point, you're not starting a romantic relationship right off the bat.
Exactly.
Start as friends.
Yes.
Hey, you know what? These are my common interests. Are these your common interest? Or hey, let's go out and have a cup of coffee. Let's go do this. And be as friends before you even decide to be any type of.
There's a lot of fire in the relationship, and both have a fire inside, or one of them has air and fire. It's going to be one night of.
Right. Hey.
So
each his own, but I'm just saying.
Exactly. So it depends. It absolutely depends. But it's not going to be that one night if you don't are attracted to the person, right?
Right.
And it's one to be attracted to a person when you see them on the phone or on the computer, and it's different to be attracted to a person when you just meet them. It's very different.
Right. Absolutely.
So this is what I do, what I teach people.
Wonderful.
To understand these little secrets. Everything else comes with it, how to behave.
Which makes sense.
Yes.
Which makes a lot of sense. A lot of people take those types of things, for granted.
Yes.
But in reality, this is what the I guess you want to say formula is.
Yes. And this is
trying to find someone.
Avoid disastrous relationships in the future. And who doesn't want to avoid disastrous relationship, because we all been through some kind of painful relationships at some point in our lives.
Right.
Understanding all this will save us money from divorcing. It will save us now anger, upsetting, years lost, being all the time angry and upset because we're not happy because this person is not like us. No. It's not. Okay. So it will save us time, money, annoyance. It will, it's quite simple to understand under the 4 elements that we're talking about. It's very simple.
And just to be on a total straight note here, yes, the smell is very important, but this does not mean that, okay, they have that wonderful cologne that you want to smell. And so you've just turned your head. No, it's actually like the body smells and the looking in the eyes and there's a lot of other things that go into physical attraction.
Yes, and all these energetic things get activated.
Right.
If there is something you're looking for.
Right.
And it's subconsciously, right? But to make it work, you need to know these elements conscious. Okay.
Right.
She's like this. She's a princess. She's going to take her 1 hour to order food and to decide what she wants to eat. Okay. The man's got to accept that because they do.
Right.
There are princesses like that, but they don't know what they want to eat. Everybody finishes eating and they still don't know what they want to eat at dinner. And, for everybody else, it's annoying, right? We got to leave and you didn't even eat. It's like, what are you doing, right? for them, it's normal. You just have to understand these things. You can't rush people, okay? You can't ask them to be the priority when they're not the type of man that's going to give you the priority. They have
and
other
you can't change.
You
And you can't change somebody that one doesn't want to be changed.
Exactly. But it's very disrespectful to try to change somebody.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Okay? I mean, you like me, but you don't. But you like me, but you want to change me. So,
right. Like, what do you want from me?
To attract who do you really want, and then problem solved. You don't have to change anything. You might have to change some things at yourself, but you don't have to change somebody else's life.
Absolutely.
Okay. I hope this helps.
This actually was very interesting. Very interesting. And these are things that are not really brought up in books and, well, maybe Google, I'm not sure. But and these are just very simple concepts that you may be lacking in your relationship or what you are looking for and everything else. So that actually is an interesting idea that we're just trying to bring out.
Yes. So it's a different approach. I understand that, but it's very simple.
Very simple.
It's very simple, yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now, do you have any other, and I'm not saying it could be romantic tips or anything like that, just in relationships in general? Do you have any type of tips that we could at least let everyone know to maybe try to strive for?
So try to strive towards balancing all of the 4 elements in yourself. And try to teach your children how to do that too.
Okay? Right.
Then we will not have codependency issues. We will not have women abused by men or men abused by women. Okay?
Right.
Not have a relationship that I'm the mother and you're the child, or I'm the father and you're the girl. Okay? So we won't have these disastrous imbalances. Okay?
Right.
That brings us, we're the victims today and we're the bad guy tomorrow and stuff like that, right? So try to balance all these 4 elements that you know about it, and you probably figure out which one you have and which one you don't. Try to always balance it, and respect when somebody else has 1, 2, 3, they're looking for the 4th. Try to encourage it, because as more balanced as we are, as more balanced as a society we are, as more people we're going to bring into our life, okay, that are normal. Okay, they have all 4 elements. Sometimes they take decision quick, sometimes they take longer, and it's totally fine, right? So try to balance them all these 4 energies in everything you do.
Good. I like that.
That's the biggest tip I can give you for attracting people into your life that are balanced and not abnormal. Who wants
Nobody's abnormal.
But it's always work. It always needs improvement. And
there's always room for improvement.
As you are conscious of it, it's going to work out, but be conscious of what you're missing, what you need. Don't get into these codependency situations where I can't live without her, without him. Okay, it's only energy. As you are balancing your own, you're not going to need somebody to die for.
Absolutely.
And then who are you going to find? Somebody happy that you want to enjoy life with.
Right.
Okay, so it just, the whole thing turns around just by trying to be conscious and balancing these elements.
I think a lot of it, and I'm just putting by our relationship here, they always say, look, I don't need you. I want you, but I don't need you.
Yes.
And although that sounds kind of mean in a way, it actually is a very powerful statement.
Yes.
Because
choice.
I want to be with you,
Yes.
I don't have to be with you because I can do life on my own.
Exactly.
And you can do life on your own, but we choose to be together,
Yes.
which that makes our relationship a lot better, stronger, on top of everything else.
So one person happy with the other one happy, okay? That will just be happier together.
Right, right.
Okay? One
Absolutely.
unhappy with the other one unhappy, disaster relationships. We see them all the time. They're fighting in courts, they're calling the police. We see these all the time. Disaster relationships is when they couldn't balance themselves here, they couldn't
Right.
themselves here, okay? Because nobody was educated this way. Nobody taught me 40 years ago when I was born about these energies and how do I have to respect myself and respect my partner and respect my friends and respect my child, even if he is my child. Okay, nobody taught us these things. About time to learn so we won't make mistakes for generations over and over again in disastrous relationships. You know, better to learn now than never, I guess.
Right? Would there happen to be anything else that you would like to add or anything?
Make sure you do not slip into the shadows of these four energies. Okay. For example, a shadow of an earthman will be bad man and wants to control everything. The shadow of a fireman would be extremely jealous. Okay. The waterman is that he doesn't even want to have people around him, right? He gets very annoyed when there are people around him because he's so concerned about his creation, which sometimes maybe he doesn't even have a specific creation because he couldn't find it. And then he's just crazy about his depression or anxiety or something really stupid,
Mm-hmm.
not who he is, right? For example, for an airman, he won't be stable in any way in relationships, in a family. He'll always go and cheat on women because he's always looking for the next attraction.
Right.
Okay. Or he'll open businesses, he won't even get them off the ground, he'll end up bankrupt. Okay. So make sure you're not in the shadows of these energies, in the negative side of them. Okay. And because this will get you to a lot of anxiety and depression. And who you're going to find? You're going to find women in the same shadow. Okay. For example, the princess type in a shadow, she won't be able to do anything by herself. She will be just a victim of other men.
Because she can't cook. She can't really.
She can't do anything by herself.
Can't do bills. She can't, clean.
Exactly. She needs to grow out of it, right? The earth woman, for example, she won't be able to have children. And she will feel jealous and attached to, oh my God, I'm depressed because I couldn't have children. I want to be earth mother.
I want to be the mother.
But it was your lesson not to be a mother if you didn't have children. Okay. Right. A fire woman, for example, she's going to have sex with everybody in a shadow form, right? She's going to be easy to catch. Sex easy to catch. And who wants this kind of woman? Or an air woman, she's not going to care. She's a queen here, making money and all that. She's not going to care about any man. All she wants is to control everybody, like in the company, the CEO who needs to control an entire company. So make sure you're not in the shadows of these energies, because you're going to attract men in the shadow of these energies.
Of those.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So all of these, make sure you're not on the shadow, the dark side of these energies. It's very important.
Yeah, I don't want to be there either.
Yes, but it happens because, one of the things that I'm doing, very well, I'm helping people with anxiety and depression.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing that I need to help them with, they're already in the shadow of anxiety and depression. So the first thing before I teach them all of this, I need to clean up their depression and anxiety.
Right.
Get rid of their shadow, their negative energy. And then we can work with this positive one in relationships. Everybody's like, well, you know, if I'm going to find a woman, I'm not going to be so depressed. You're going to find a woman depressed.
Right. Right.
Because you're in the shadow place of these energies. The same
Right.
with women, you know. The women usually after our age or stuff like that is like, I never want to date again. It's because you're afraid of a shadow of these energies. Not because of the age of 40 and 50 you can't date again. But you're in the shadow of being hurt. And
right.
But all men are bad. When men are not bad at all, you just didn't understand how to respect them properly.
Right.
Okay? So, and sometimes to leave a man is respectful. Okay? Because you are showing him respect for who he wants to be and showing yourself respect for who you want to be. Okay? So all these things, you know, make sure you're not in the shadow of it, because it will give you a lot of anxiety and depression. And you will think it's because of relationship you have anxiety and depression, when it's actually the opposite.
Right.
You have
so
depression and you attract horrible relationships.
I think so too.
All these things.
Wonderful.
I hope it helps.
Wonderful.
We can talk for centuries here.
If you guys have any other types of questions, by all means, write them in the comments below, and then we will get to them. If it's not me, it's going to be her, and we will get your answers that you need. And if you like these types of videos, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and make sure that you hit that post notification button, so that will actually let you know when the next time that I post a video. And to the next time, and before I say that, actually, I would like to thank Anne for even coming on to my show. That's wonderful. There is other videos about the anxiety and the depression on this channel also, so make sure that you check those out also. And to the next time, love you bunches.
Love you guys.
Bye. Bye, Anne.